So for all intents and purposes, the dominoes are done. Whether I'm going to advise you to do it yourself, build giant dominoes, sure, if you
have 20 hours to spare and don't mind painting and waiting for a lot of things to dry.
Or you could actually get the right drill head, which will save you a lot of time in the long run, and then you can also get the right thing to put in the holes.
That doesn't evaporate and leave a useless surface, which you then have to fill again with something else. So essentially what we started out with, we needed some sort of domino block that, well, was a reasonable size and also a reasonable thickness. We didn't want something too thick or too thin. So eventually what we went with is we went with a giant sheet of MDF, and we just asked them to cut it. Well, they would only cut it into strips. So we had this bit, and then we just needed to cut them like so. Is 60.9. Sixes need to be a bit smaller because there's 3 in a row and that didn't quite fit on. But anyway, overall, it wasn't too bad. The hardest thing was finding the right drill head, the right head for the drill to make the holes in the first place.
We wanted shallower holes that are made of like, they look like a crater instead of just a hole with clear edges.
Yeah.
We have one small piece like that's designed before you screw a screw in a hole. Generally you make a indent so you don't crack the wood when the screw goes level with the wood. However, that drill piece is too small, and instead of going to buy a bigger one, we
just use that one instead.
I would have been fine with just leaving the holes the depth they were, and with all the corners and stuff, just holes, colorful holes. That would have been fine. However, because of the way the drill worked,
and because it's also MDF as well.
Yeah, it basically left the surface really kind of hairy, essentially.
It frothed up all the fibers inside, and every time you try and even it out, then you get more.
Yeah, you get more of the manufactured board, the compressed wood chips out. So
our next thought was we need a nice flat even surface in order to paint on. So we tried filling them with PVA glue, which in short did not work. The PVA glue either dissolved into the wood or evaporated out, so we were left with basically what we started. So
not quite. It did repair some of the damage, but then it had other bigger blobs and holes. 2 days of drying, and all of the glue has just sunk down. So the next thing we did was we put a relatively thick coverage of gesso primer, which has definitely created a waterproof surface. So I'm pretty sure the glue did that, but just in case. So thankfully nothing will get absorbed here now. And then we have the option of putting more gesso in, which who knows how long it's gonna dry anyway. Or what we are going to do instead of because gesso is expensive and I don't have that much of it, we're gonna put, instead of gesso, we have a lot of this latex paint.
And luckily we had a giant 10-litre tub, so we decided, well, why not? Yeah. So we filled some squeezy bottles, filled them almost to the top.
And even though we knew it's gonna crack, but because a thick layer of latex essentially will crack, and that was to be expected. But my aim was to basically just raise the level of the hole. That's been drying for 2 days. This is the second coat of latex paint, thingy wall paint. As expected, it cracked, although it has very weirdly, that's a bump in the center. It's being sucked in. So I'm just not going to bother with any more latex. I'm just going to start layering acrylic gradually. With 2 layers of acrylic, it is creatively filled. It is not even, but it's fine. They're all not even, so it doesn't matter.
So yeah, some of the holes look like that. There's cracks inside them that you can see visible through the paint, but
that's only 1 layer of paint. We could put another one on this one if we wish.
we don't really want to. We've spent enough hours trying to get it to look decent, and we think they are as good as, well, almost as good as they're gonna get. And oh great, the paint's coming off. With normal dominoes, you flip them upside down and you shuffle, 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 shuffle. So with these ones, I don't really know. Apart from maybe...
So flip them all the other way. Well, I have no idea which
I have no idea which is which.
Okay, so, but we are able to see our blocks.
But the other person cannot.
That's gonna be difficult. How the hell do we do that?
I did not see. There we go. I have a piece of pipe.
This is our start block. Am I allowed to put it here? Who knows?
I win!
Fine, build a tower you like. Oh, you wanna... Oh, okay.
Tower.
Okay.
It's like a house of cards. Dominoes seem to always do a better job though, because it's the you know, I have a problem with this one because it's well.
So as all of this, you know, making DIY games and stuff is of course in preparation for our budget, you know, garden wedding, because on this channel we're all about challenging conventions, and one of the biggest and most expensive conventions is to have an expensive wedding. So that's why we're going through this, and I don't regret doing this. I love having them. I don't think I'll do it again, but I don't have to because I've already made them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like always guys, keep on challenging yourself, challenge convention. If you want something to happen, if you want something to happen for cheap or whatever, then you can do it. Just work it out, and if you don't want to pay money, you're mostly gonna have to pay in hours, but it's your time to spend. So yeah,
See you next week. Bye.